Should be perfectly alright so far, yes. In the left upper corner, in the blue, we've got Ungurs, the man himself, most improved player of, what was it, year 2020, 21, 22, something like that. But since then hasn't stopped improving and has always, whenever he's active in the ladder, been in the top 10. Mostly in the top of it, basically. Contesting with Revnag 1, 2, and 3, Julian K, of course, Optimus. So, one of the very top players in the game right now, obviously. And in the lower east corner, we've got Swisherguts, who has been known, I think, mostly for his aggressive Portuguese gameplay these last weeks and last months, especially where Portugal was very, very present all over the place, and especially on the ladder with their extremely fast FF builds. But yeah, the matchup itself, of course, in my opinion, myself as a German apprentice and as a Howder main, I think Germany obviously has the better H3 shipments, but at the same time, Haudenosaunee has better tempo because they have the fast age option and can hit pretty damn hard if they want to. Of course, a hard rush is usually not what you see on this kind of elo, but maybe, you did see the elo difference. Ungurs might want to finish in an H2 here. We will see about that one. And glad you guys are all here. Radiant Psyche, Ampia Jonga. Nice to have you here, guys. Lou, there you are. Ungurs should let Wish win one for integrity. Well, we will see about that one. Let's see how much of a role integrity plays in this one here. Raven is on the field, the German Explorer on the other side. And of course, Germany has to watch their Explorer because that guy, 500 HP, more damage even. Oh, same damage? Yeah, same damage than the German Explorer. But there we go. The snare is on and now it's a running game. Because Germany without an Explorer means Germany needs to send a settler wagon forward to build a TP, which idles eco, idles time, and denies you a hell of a scouting. GLF had who banned what? Ungurs banned Portugal, obviously, which is a hard hit against Swisherguts. And Swisherguts on the other side banned Germany and decided to play themselves. To play them himself. So, hope that helps you out there. Now, Haudenosaunee with, TP start, pretty decent there. Deck is the normal one. Actually, Ungurs one of the few who actually use the Agrarian Ways card, a card that saves you tons and tons of resources, but it also needs a prior investment to pay off because you can't play it without having farms or estates there. Banning port's kind of mean. It is kind of mean, I understand that. I played in the summer tournament and I think Ezard banned my Lakota. No. It wasn't Azad, it was April. April banned my Lakota, the only Civ I'm halfway decent with. So I feel the pain that Swisherguts is probably feeling right now there. Swisherguts on the other side, yeah, managing to get a perfect German age up time with 17 villages. Of course, with the decent treasures you could go faster, but for a decent age up, that's perfect enough. Everything on wood now. Yeah, except 3 villagers on food. 1 goes herding. And we are going to see the gang saw come in and probably a TP on the left side as soon as possible. Ungurs on the other side. Okay, never mind. I just said, H2 gameplay not too great in that kind of elo, but never mind. Ungurs just going in there, aging up at 336. Just going forward with the thrower. Probably going to go for a hard rush there. I mean, we did see a few peculiar build orders from him. Some of you might remember. The final, if you haven't seen it live, then you can't have seen it yet. The final of the Summer Championship also included one of those where you actually save the first thrower and build 2 military buildings in H2. A bit less shipment tempo, but more military output potential there. Especially if you go for a stable. But yeah, the German Explorer still not being happy there, and that's the TP being denied to Germany. Because Germany surely can't build one now with this chase back into the base, and Swisher is also unable to just click back once and snare the Raven here so he can get out, because the attack animation of the Explorer is not that great for Haudenosaunee, at least not in melee. But that already puts Germany back quite a notch, to be honest. I think he has to go for a church instead of the usual TP build here. But otherwise I can't see what he does here to compensate for the XP loss. Germany already with a TP, not that fast shipment-wise. And that's missing out on a TP that early in the game is already pretty devastating for Germany here. Let's see what Ungurs goes for, though. Yeah, trading post over here being built. Before it's up, there's probably trade card coming through, so upgraded trade route for Haudenosaunee here. Absolutely taking care of the Haudenosaunee economy, and we are starting with Tomahawks, Kanye Horsemen, and super, yeah, extremely greedy at the same time, market in the base, and hunting dogs already, with a fast stage build. Imagine that kind of pressure. That's basically Russia pressure, but just with decent units, you know? 4 Kanye Horsemen, I think one of the most, if not the most vital shipment for Haudenosaunee in H2, honestly. And we see why. Those guys, even if they don't do that much damage, they're still there to tank, to take the fight. And with their 30 ranged resist, they also can handle the Minuteman fire and even the TC fire must be. Although losing all of them in the first push is not, at least not in my Ungurs playbook usually with Haudenosaunee. But he forced early militiamen. We only have a stable here. And 700 wood coming now, but of course slowly. We don't have a church, so XP curve is going to be terrible for Germany here. I'm fearing for Swisher here, to be honest. Swisherguts might be bit out of his depth here if he can't get something down to boost his XP business. At the same time, just look at Ungurs, just easily producing units, 5 villas behind that, so on 22 villages already in comparison to 18. Of course, 18 plus 8, so 26 villages against the 27 of Ungurs, but with the trading posts here, with the stagecoach, that's surely evened out in favor of Haudenosaunee here. Lou and Jake Shaman, I see your points in chat. I do think that it was not the trade that Ungurs wanted to take, but I don't know if he takes it too seriously. Don't want to... Oh, there we go. 3 Ulan. But the settler wagons more or less blocking themselves here, and Ungurs really beautiful, just killing all those guys. I think maybe even with the correct shot from the Explorer. Yep, used that to kill all the militiamen with one shot. Beautiful stuff. Still, it's more idling than really economic damage that it does here. But the 3 dead Ulans, of course, hurt. What I have here, crossbows coming in. The good thing for Swisherguts here is usually, if you have a normal player Haudenosaunee, playing Haudenosaunee, then you usually don't see Cav coming in that fast after losing the initial 4 Kanye riders. But, of course, we've got Ungurs here with Stagecoach, with extra economy, with market ups already in. So, yeah, might get a bit ugly, to be honest. Musket Master just growing. Explorer chilling out for a bit, but I don't think that German town here is going to be peaceful for a long time, to be honest. He might not have scouted rush. That's a good point, actually. Quickly check Swisherguts deck here. I mean, that is the one I think, if I'm not mistaken, except for the Bosniaks probably. It's pretty similar to something I saw in Kaiser Klein's Germany or German deck selection. But yeah, those Kanye Horsemen alone are going to mean so much trouble for the German player here. And Swisherguts needs to think of something fast or just die here. Because even if he kills the Cav, yeah, you see that? The Musket Master alone is probably enough to outman those guys and to out DPS them. And this might very well be the first game here. Good point, GK. Yeah, don't need to scout if they age up at 336. That was my mistake. And as I say, the first game is over in under 10 minutes. 8:55. Yeah, I mean, if you get out-ecoed that hard by Haudenosaunee as Germany, then nothing in this game went the way that you wanted it to go, to be honest. Yeah, kill death is more or less even, but let's be honest. Villager population, just here. Yeah, that was important. That more or less kept Swisherguts afloat, but look at that. Completely, more or less even line here. And then the villager production started a little bit again, but honestly, pretty solid game. H2 hard rush, and yeah, that's how it looks when one of the best does it. All right, off we go. Nope. So there we go. In the left side again, in the blue again. Ungurs with the French on Saguenay, and on the eastern side, the Ottoman from Swisherguts, which is a pretty fascinating matchup that I have tried and tried over and over again, but the fact is I'm just absolutely terrible at decision making, which is the most important, probably, the most important skill you need with France, in my opinion. Because France, as we all know, is one of those civs that can do it all, but it needs to do the right thing in the right situation, if that makes sense. France, P, I mean, the players realistically can beat Ungurs in a best of 5. Crab got good point. I think I can count him on one hand, probably, or I think 2, max. Oh, I'm Loki. Are you the Loki that's playing later on? Just, I'm sorry if I'm not familiar with all the names in chat, in the sense of player names especially. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing how Ungurs approaches this, especially because the most important thing here against Ottoman, because you need to do it properly, is scouting. And scouting properly means he really needs to know if their village is forward, if there's anything happening. Because Ottoman versus any civ, I have seen in the last few tournaments that I casted, and I've seen, I think, 3 series that were decided at least by Ottoman just going for a double Rex rush into the enemy's base and the enemy not scouting it because it was the last or second to last game here. Dock start, I actually almost missed it. Thank you very much, Khalili, helping me out there. And dock start for Ottoman is something, not a myth, but something mythical probably. You don't see it too often, although it is a pretty valid option here. It does take one of the core strengths of the civ away from it, of course, the insane tempo that you usually get. And as I'm saying it, I'm looking at the clock, I'm looking at this and seeing, yeah, well, we are already almost at age up resources and at the same time pumping out 3 fishing boats, so apparently I have no idea what I'm talking about. The XP curve might suffer, though, with this. But yeah, I mean, the good thing here is, though, that they can kind of negate as well their economic, what people often call their economic weakness, that Ottoman doesn't have. And so everybody who plays Ottoman in the chat, just saying, my own perspective on this is, Ottomans don't need to gather any food, which is usually 4 to 5 villages on food constantly to keep up villager production. That's just something Ottoman doesn't need to do. So even if they get to age 2, they produce villages all the time, don't need villagers gathering food for village production, meaning that economy-wise, they're actually on par with most other civs. With a dock start, they might actually be ahead. So having Ottoman being ahead economically, probably not against France, but being rather close is a scary thing here. And the question is, how will Ungurs react to it? He probably scouted it. Yeah, he scouted dock start. Great to see here. And I am. Every time when you hear me take a sip, I'm probably reading the chat to make sure I'm not missing out on other stuff, but there we go. That is the great thing. If you play France properly, you know about these things. That is also one of the standard moves here, of course. It's just a scout chilling just outside of the range of the base so that the TC doesn't unstealth it. Although I don't think that Ungurs wants to lose the Explorer here. That lovely lady is not going to do her job anymore today. At the same time, yeah, Ungurs looks like he wants to finish it early and quickly. We had that with Kaiser as well, who basically just downright all the time rushed Hawk Girl. a bit disrespectful probably, if there's such a big elo difference, but still. First house or second house going down for Ottoman. Both players aged up. And let's quickly check how fast France was up, because I kind of missed it. It's my fault, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 6, so 13 villager age up. And of course, all the usual stuff. We actually might see a bow pike rush. I like that. Water continuing to boom here. What are the decks like? We've got 2 galleys, of course. Oh, wait. You already sent that card. Oh, no. Swisher, your poor boy. I don't want to call anything here, guys, but sending those 2 guys so early and not experiencing pressure on water is a bit of an issue here, because obviously that stuff is just, all the value here is going to be lost. if he's pushed on land and can't defend properly because there's no units, no resources here. Zero Beer asking who is casting. That is me, MFD, your friendly neighborhood Austrian or something. Well, yeah, he's using them to defend. That's a point that I get. So he's probably gonna just take those, go over there and defend from land military as well. But let's be honest, if this base is in danger, then over there they do fuck all. I'm sorry for cursing here, but I just don't see how that is a preventive shipment that does anything at this point right now. And Ungurs probably knows it too. If he scouted those, then he will just continue pressuring on land and making sure that, yeah, look at that. Janissary is more or less running after the pikemen here and being not idle, but not being able to defend here around the TC. And I think that we're just going to see an Ungurs who tries to be aggressive, to just annoy Swisherguts all the time, poke in and poke out and take villages. Yeah, that 3 Expo batch was a bit sad though, to be honest. Ungurs already going for Stagecoach. Imagine going for Stagecoach on this map. That is some confidence right there against Ottoman, but it's probably confidence that is well deserved here because he did his part to kind of contain Ottoman so far. He is paying with a lot of crossbows going down here, sadly though. I mean, don't forget, those 7 crossbows are still not enough to one-shot a Janissary. Those guards with the juicy 215 HP. It's just, yeah, they're not going to be enough. But the point on the other side is if Ungurs continues with, do we have some more wood on the ground? No, actually coin. So about to age up, seemingly. Swish on the other side going for water upgrades on 26 villages. Compare that to the 23 of Ungurs, who already went for the Cree settlements though, which is a huge improvement in villager numbers. I mean, you can get 5 extra CDBs, which is great, and also HP tax for your infantry and cavalry. And I see that chat has kind of evolved into an anime One Piece discussion, which is fine. I don't mind that too much, but do keep in focus, do keep your attention here at the point that Swisherguts is actually pushing the forward base of France here, and I don't think there's any way that France can deny this, not even with the French Explorer being up again. Why Swisher is running here is beyond me though, to be honest. I don't see what the reason to run away from those guys was, because again, they don't one-shot a single Janissary, so... Oh. The delis are there, they're on the units, but we need to kill the pikes. We need to kill the pikes if this is to suffice. France aged up now. Question is, can it... I mean, he loses his front base. He loses all of this army. Yes, but can Ungurs hit the road running here? It's got 2 TPs on an upgrade stagecoach line. I think that Swisher should certainly go over here and just take at least one of those TPs if he can't afford both. Score-wise, they're even, which is... I don't want to sound mean if I say surprising, but we do have the elo gap, and Swisherguts is doing fairly well here with a really, really greedy build, and France not really being able to push water now because they can't add... Yeah, look at that. Also denying the herds close to the water, villagers taking damage, and also denying any chance of a harbor going down or a dock going down for France in order to improve a counter push potential here. And Swisherguts now actively pushing the trade line, trying to take the advantage that France has right now economically away from them again. Ungurs on the other side, and that is going to be a juicy switch. He's going for his Skirm Goon composition, or Skirm, actually, Skirm Cure composition with artillery behind, which is as nasty as it sounds. Honestly, I do think like we should see some more... Jesus Christ! I hope that was not too loud for you guys. Please let me know how bad the sound alerts are for you. Because that just almost blew my eardrums out. Not loud at all. If that was perfect, no sound here. Ah, that's great again. But then Minimold, I thank you for the subscription, for the continued support. And I'm interested in seeing your series against Easy later. I hope you didn't bring us shame, to the German community at least. But don't spoil anything yet, please. Now, Jesus Christ was not the sound. The sound was what nearly blew apart my head. Now, we've got Ottoman in H3. A bit weird to see France up faster, but of course with an agree build like this. And as I said, yeah, Swisherguts taking the TP, but I do think that that one, the more conservative or more backwards choice might have been the better, because that one more or less lies in the way of France here. 5 delis is actually correct here. You are absolutely right, sir. Callan hitting the nail on the head here with that statement, because if 5 delis come through, and even if they're not upgraded, they're surely enough to take care of those veteran cuirassiers. I just hope that Swisher doesn't get squished against the wall here and takes the fight too early. Oh, that could be really ugly. Any reinforcements? Nope, nothing coming in from France. I mean, we've got more cures in the way. That makes it much harder to fight this, of course, but this is going to be one juicy fight for sure. I don't think the cures are on the side on the cav, of course. Artillery's going down. That one, the one daily already died here. It was there for the snare, but now he's actually evacuating his units, taking the fight, taking down the siege potential at least from the French army. But now he needs to run before those, before the cures get to take their shots there. And that's 2 dead Avis guns. Not great, but not terrible either. 5 spies coming in as response call here. Ah. Yeah, and that's the point. If they're not vet, then this would have been a really terrible fight. Swisher needs to save those villages, though. We are not on 3 TCs yet. You can't just lose them for free and nothing is happening to the economy. 5 spies. If there's a decent pop here, Cav over there, spies coming in from there. The army over there should have been much closer, and this fight could have been really good. But now I think it's not going to go all the way as much in the favor of Swisherguts as he might have liked to. 5 spy here. Guns tanking fire. Cures. Oh, actually spy being pulled through. The Sipahi trying to get onto the skirms. Cav being killed here, and I think we need a really fast retreat from Ungurs on this side. He is ahead economically speaking. The points account to that. But yeah, look at that. Just hits coming in left and right. Skirms dying like flies before cannonball. But the damage is done. The delis, the Sipahis are almost dead. Only 2 surviving, and that one just hanging on by its teeth. But even with the reinforcements here, there's no reinforcing army. There's no anti-cav that saves this. And look at the score. When the dust settles, the armies are cleared almost. France is still ahead and takes the fight. A decent effort, in my opinion, though, by Swisherguts. Very nicely done. And Ungurs, I do think that the game did not work out all the way that you wanted it to do. So nicely done by Swisherguts. I'm positively surprised here. Bad room might be, but still, I like the different approach. Otherwise, I could just cast the same stuff, all the time, has it? So, but yeah, let's quickly check into the. There we go. Quickly check into the post game and see what happens there. But I do. This time for a change, actually, in the right corner, we've got our boy Ungurs with the Chinese. And in the left lower side, a bit of a weird map setup, but yeah. On Painted Desert, I think they're just normal. We have got Swisherguts with the French. A bold choice, to say the least. Just because the tempo that France usually experiences with early TP, and sometimes, if we look at Steppenwolf's gameplay, for example, even with the Church, it's just something that's incredibly strong about them and just bolsters their already great economy. So seeing this Civ in a situation where they need to go for a market starts on a map like this, it feels a bit weird. Just that's all I want to say here about that choice on this map. Vividly playing in chat to the man, the legend himself. Great to have you here. Hopefully here to enjoy the cast as well. And to stay for a bit, because we have some casts ahead of ourselves. Yeah, China taking great advantage or making great use of their disciples, already scouting all those leftover cows and cattle that you can find on the map, taking 2 home here, and that one poor Swisherguts explorer just not finding any. Net stack, please. We might actually see that. I'm looking forward to that one. So let's see. We've got that 100 down, but weirdly enough, not seeing a market yet. So, I mean, we've got Comanche, what Comanche and Apache. So, Apache. Never thought too much about the pronunciation there. I'm sorry if I absolutely butcher it. So please educate me in the chat. Yeah, he doesn't even market play here. That feels more than weird. I'm a France enjoyer. I do play them as if they were my main. Meaning I play as many games as if they were my main civ, but I'm just terribly dogshit at them. But that is something that even I wouldn't dare, to be honest. I feel since the beginning of this tourney, just a continuous demonstration of nuke bashing. Tourney just began. Yeah, thanks Vividly for putting it in a more humane form. This is the first part of the group stage, so the lineups and the matchups might sometimes be a bit hard or seem a bit steep when it comes to elo gap and skill gap sometimes. But of course, this will change over the groups, or even over the course of the group stage, where people play each other and then find more favorable matchups, hopefully. So the first week is always going to be a bit steep. China, yeah, I mean, that's something classical with China. You can easily go for 2 villages. That's old stuff. That's legacy stuff, even, which fits the tournament so well. But T-export not being a thing usually on a map where you have no TP. And China, I think, although both civs, of course, profit a lot from TPs usually, here, France, I mean, even more so without an early market, just feels like a really bad choice. He went for a 1320, so an early age up, not too terrible. But at the same time, we have China aging up with the Summer Palace, and there's a lot of meta for China without TP plays, because the T export card was only introduced a year ago, something like that. So this feels like Legacy, but taken too far back, if that makes any sense to you. So, yeah, that card is going to be saved up. And the question is only who is going to play more aggressive here. And it certainly has to be China, because first of all, it's Ungurs. He likes his aggressive plays. There's no question about that. Second of all, Summer Palace, this build, the shipment tempo is not as good, so you do have to put the pressure on in H2, in my opinion at least. China sort of suck without a TP. Hazard, fully agree, of course, but wouldn't you agree that France without TP, without market, sucks even more? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, now 700 wood first for infrastructure, surely. War Academy already going down, food being on the ground, and more chopping of wood, so we might actually see some H2 action here from both sides. And on the other side, Swisherguts, yeah. Forward base is down over here. Has a position that also secures him the Comanche post, and is already building crossbows. And that is the usual approach that you see from France against China if they play H2. Just sort of aggression, keeping them in H2 for as long as possible to take the tempo away from them, and then following up with the H-up without losing too much here. Yeah, you'd expect Dutch or Brits on this map, and I fully agree with that statement, Brooks, because it's just a map that favors civs that often are forced, or where people try to force them to stay in base, because it's just such a hunt-rich map overall, where you get lots and lots of resources. Market going up now for China in the back. Those 2 villages in the front, yeah. Just look at the line of sight here that those things provide as well. Well, that's Mother Nature, not too much to see there. But that's... I don't think that Ungurs can lose a single villager here to crossbow attacks, because he just sees everything coming from so far away already with this. On the other side, Swisher's now only at 6 minutes going for steel traps. Also a bit of unorthodox, if you ask me. Helping Ungurs to hurt. I see what happened there. A mishurt in the direction of the enemy is a bit unlucky, to say the least. And I do think we just got to follow through if I'm not too bad with keeping apart my sound alerts here. But thanks for the follow, guys. Don't forget, all of this is more or less enabled by your support and by Lionheart's never-ending stamina when doing Shadow Raid Legends stream. Yeah, that for sure too. That helped a lot. Third village coming down now, and China looking like it's rather comfortable in H2. Not even thinking too much about the age up. Of course, some people on coin, but still. Just look at what the nets are doing here. We're actually going for the net posts over here with... This is now skirm, crossbow, goon combination. Native crossbow. It feels weird to say it. Feels even more weird to feel it or to see it. But I will be surprised if... I do think that Ungurs is a bit surprised by this maybe as well, but at the same time, I might have to eat my own words here. Yep, the first villager dies to crossbow action. I already missed the mark when I predicted it would not happen. Yeah, stable is a good answer, but look at that. There's just much more Chukunus here than there is actually crossbowmen, and you can't really deny the snare from the pikemen with the goons here, because they will get shot down. There's no question hell if those Chukunus are going to get a shot out or not, because if Ungurs is known for something, then it's the micro that he puts on the table when he plays. And yeah, that one guy slowing them all down. Swisher trying desperately to get his units out of there, but losing all those units to just bow pike from France is nothing short of a massacre here. And those poor Frenchmen are never going to see the Eiffel Tower again, it seems. And that's the last Apache cavalryman that goes down for France. And France, I don't even want to say can't be too happy with this. That's just game already, I assume. GG, great series. Can we watch me now? I do get the sentiment here. This was a pretty quick one. And France seems more than lost in this situation, because the Apache cavalry has a nice touch, but not in this matchup, not with this mass on the ground, and not with Ungurs being prepared to fight this out in H2, knowing that he has all the advantages that he gets in this situation. Even the Minutemen being called out here, but I don't see how this can end well for France at any point. Even if all this mass here would suddenly be lost by a miraculous cuirassier pop that camps out of nothing, there's just not enough army here to win this game again for Swisherguts. Yeah, what was the second card for Ungurs? The first card in H2 was surely 700 wood. And we can look at the shipments maybe, but that's the front base, or even the second front base going down now. More reinforcements coming from China, and China never stopped producing units. Look at that, 24 villages versus 28. Consulate not yet down, but doesn't matter too much. It's bow pike with enough cav to get a snare on any unit you want to snare, and not even a French base can defend from this, not even with all the HP and attack ups that you need here. Revnak is not in a tournament. If you want to read up why, there is a lengthy post up on ESOC on the forum. Rather short answer is that he violated a few of the tournament rules and of the community rules as well. There we go, the big CDB pool more or less, but it's a pool that only idles the economy and just prolongs the inevitable at this point. Swisher has a more or less existent mass of crossbows, but the Chukwadu mass is almost the same, and there's a lot of cav and pikes behind it to back it up. And yeah, the army is there, and Swisher, he has one military building left. He's almost popped with that one. He has no hunts left except the ones he's herding in right now. And now he's even losing his most dearest possession, this trading post here and at the Apache settlement. And without that, there is nothing that holds him in the game there, because pure crossbows alone, this is just going to be a slaughter once the cav hits in there. And now Ungurs going for the standard army hit points. Funny enough, in the first few games it looked a bit closer, and Ungurs just finished it as quick as he could. And right now he seems a bit, not, I don't want to say scared, but a bit hesitant to go in. But yeah, with this HP tech, I think it's HP, yeah, 20%. That is gonna almost, yeah, that's gonna push them over, actually, over the HP level of those crossbowmen. Damage is already pretty darn close, but with that HP upgrade, yeah, 109 HP. That fight is far from being close. Now, the 3 emergency hussar in, but let's just wait out this fight and see how many Chinese armies, how many Chinese units are standing at the end of it. The steps doing the job, just slaughtering everything that even resembles a skirmisher, and they're going to continue to cut through the CDBs here, and that's the fight. Game number 3 taken. Rather confidently, do I say. That one may be a bit one-sided, but again, it's, as we saw, it's current ladder place number 5. If you count Ravnag as one, number 3. And Ungurs and Swisherguts on the other side at 80 or 96 right now. Being robbed more or less of his main civil ports. Harsh matchup here, of course. But after this one, we are going to go on to the next series, which is Mini-Mode versus Easy. Oh, thanks for the follow. Is Breeze in the tournament? No right. Wait, you know that he's not in the tournament. Jesus, don't mess with me, man. What switches? That is something you guys have to figure out. That's not on my responsibility. But let's go back into the main screen here. And finish out the first of what is a first series, what is going to be a night of series, actually. 3-0. Sweeping victory here for Ungurs. So the indication in comparison here of Elo's was right. Did take very strong games. But we have to say that the France-Ottoman game actually looked pretty close, in my opinion at least, during the later mid phase of it.